Hello, my name is Aisha Campbell. I'm here from the Rise Collective with.
Zack Polanski, I'm the leader of the Green Party.
Hello. So today I just wanted to ask you, we're a young group of people, underrepresented journalists and creatives, who are trying to make their voices amplified. A lot of young people feel as though their voices aren't heard in politics. What is the Green Party going to do to help assist with that?
I think the first thing to say is how incredibly important this is. So before I was a politician, I was a theatre actor. I used to work in a theatre company called Team Angelica by an amazing man called Ricky Beadle Blair. Everyone should check him out. His theatre company is all about amplifying the voices of global majority communities, LGBT community, and also underrepresented people. So this was work I was already doing before I was a politician. In terms of how the Green Party can help, it's about making sure we're amplifying the voices of young people. I'm sick of hearing politicians say, "Oh, I'm so inspired by young people." Stop being inspired by them and actually give them the resources, the confidence, and the platform to be able to go, actually, what are the things you need and want to be saying right now, and to help people achieve it. I think there's more basic things too. While you're struggling to pay your rent or to put food on the table or to handle a job that isn't kind of a creative job or the bread and butter job, then it becomes very difficult to do the things that you want to do. So we've got to bring down that cost of living, but also that's why the Green Party support a universal basic income. This is the idea that every single person in this country would get enough money to be able to pay their rent, put food on the table, and that would mean rather than worrying about working to live, we could actually all engage with creatives, with journalism, and actually it would result in better politics too.
Amazing. And with young people being involved in creative spaces, obviously they want to hear their voices heard in politics too. Do you have any ideas of how we could blend the two? I think social movements are so important in the art scene as well. How could we combine those two things in a future where we see arts and politics side by side?
Yeah, I think social movement is literally the most important thing. And we only need to look at establishment politics to recognise what a lack of young people there are and also a lack of diverse voices. I think the first thing that's changing thing is social media. Now, obviously, that's a two-sided coin because some of the algorithms can be really problematic. But I think where we have people power and people being able to cut through with powerful stories and narratives in their communities, I think some of that is antidotes to the problematic algorithms. So that's the first bit. I think the second bit is community organising that needs to be happening anyway. We know that far too often people don't get involved with politics because they think it's not for them or it seems boring. But actually to use creativity to be able to create the powerful narratives that let every single person in this country know that politics can and should be for them. And to use the slogan we're here today, if you don't do politics, it will do you. I also like, if you're not at the table, you'll be on the menu. So let's make sure that as many young people and as many diverse people as possible are at the table and crucially are making the decisions. It's not enough just to be tokenistic about it and put people on, a video or on a leaflet. Ultimately, young people need to make sure they're in the decision-making process too.
So true, I so agree with that. I think the third question I'd like to ask is, alongside social media, I think young people are craving physical spaces, third spaces like you said, collectively organise. How can we create a space where young people are seen in outside of spaces that aren't just institutions or their homes? How can we create space like that?
Yeah, so some of this is the consequence of austerity. We had 14 years of Tory government that just cut our buildings, including community spaces. Margaret Thatcher famously said there's no such thing as society. And what the Tories did, and I would argue the Labour government are continuing to do, is not to put the money into creating those spaces. So if you say there's no such thing as society or community, and then you destroy the community spaces, you shouldn't then be surprised if far-right politicians come along and try and divide people, and people in communities feel like they're not cohesive. So I think what you're asking is a really deep question, actually, about how do we make sure that people can eat together, can create together, can pray together, can gather together and chat about politics, or frankly, what's going on TV. All of those spaces need to happen, but we're lacking at the moment physical spaces. As well as that, there's like a worrying trend in our public spaces of what's known as public-private spaces. So these are the spaces that look like squares, or they look like public can go in them. But if you look, there's signs that say there's CCTV, or you can't eat after 6 p.m, or no ball games. All of these kind of things that erode the sense of community and actually say who owns this space is a corporate, a multimillionaire, or a billionaire. So we've got to push back against that and actually make sure that our public spaces are actually for the public. Some of my favourite spaces were places like Trocadero, which are probably too young to know about this space without patronising you, but I used to love breakdancing, and we used to just gather there to rehearse breakdancing for 4 or 5 hours a day. No money, no kind of control over it, just a group of people coming together from all walks of life and going, let's all work together. You don't see those spaces as much anymore, or if they are there, the police look to criminalise them. So what we really, really need to be doing is pushing back against this public-private idea and actually going, this is a public space, and as long as everyone's behaving within the law, they should be able to gather here and do what they want with the space.
Thank you so much, Zach. Great speaking to you.